Namaste. I'm Jayapalashri from Samskara Healing. A warm welcome. I have been speaking a lot about shamanism. I did speak also in my last video. I was speaking about how important it is about understanding what is soul loss and how to go about it and what do we do. Now, I also spoke about who could be a shaman, and I did say that anybody could be a shaman. But having said that in my last video, and also speaking about how do you recognize a shaman and what they do, let me also say that there are many shamans who just walk amongst us being pretty silent and not disclosing that they are. And when I mentioned that everyone can be a shaman, there are many people who choose to become a shaman, and shamanism is there in us in one way or the other, where we are connected with nature, we understand how to work with nature, what to do and how to go about things. And that is where I said that everybody is a shaman in their own way. It is there in our blood, one way or the other. Now, I did speak about that. I did speak about how shamans are attached to the 5 elements, be it with feathers, shells, stones, and so on. And I spoke about medicine bag. As I speak about medicine bag, and as I speak about how we were introduced to it, I did speak up. I did also cover about the point that how we had. I used to see my teacher coming with his bag. So the first question I asked him in my class was, "What is a medicine bag, and what all do you carry in that?" So he showed his bag, saying, "This is my medicine bag." And I said, "What do you carry in that, and what is a medicine bag?" And then, he opened one by one everything out. He had his drum, he had his rattle. He had 2 different kind of rattles, and he had some stones which he used to carry with him wherever he went. He used to make the medicine wheel, which I did speak about, saying that how important it is and how excited I was to see it, and I wanted to learn it, and that's how I got into doing a mentorship program. So he had stones in it, and he had his feather, which was the fanning feather, and there were some shells, and he had his tarot deck, and I was so excited seeing his tarot deck, and I said, "Do you do tarot?" And he said, "I don't do tarot like how the regular tarot is done. I do it completely different, and it's in the shamanic way." And I said, "Would you teach me?" He said, "One by one, I will teach you." So he had a lot of things in it which he used to carry. And then he said, I was really excited, and I said, "So do I need to make my own medicine bag?" He said, "With basic and advanced, it's good to make it, but once you come into mentorship, I would encourage that you do make your medicine bag and you take it with you wherever you go." So it was exciting. Oh yes, let me speak about my own medicine bag. So as I sat to make my own medicine bag, I sat to look at my pouches and my cases, and I was wondering, what could I take and how could I take and what would I need to make a medicine bag. So when I sat with it, trying to figure out what to do and how to do and everything, I put in my rattle, and I put in a feather. And when I say feather, you need to get these feathers which are for the fanning feather. And I put in a shell. I kept stones in it to make my own my medicine wheel wherever I travel, in case if I'm going out of town, even if it's for a day. I used to make one to just keep the energy positive, and whatever my intent could be. It could be anything. My intent could be, I could intend the world, whatever I wanted for, but I used to just set an intent that, everything is fine. Wherever I go, I used to bless the place, and I wanted everything to go right for whatever work I've gone for the highest good, of course, without manipulating anything. So I had this small pouch, which I could either put it into my own handbag and take it, or I could put it into my check-in baggage and take it. But either ways, I could take it to wherever I was going and whatever I was doing. So I had my rattle that I carried, my tarot deck, the stones, and I had some crystals. And then I used to carry sage or Palo Santo, both are equally good. I used to carry sage if I knew I didn't have a hassle with the room and I could sage the space before I settled in. If I was unsure of the place and I really didn't know if I could do any such thing there, then I used to take the Palo Santo stick with me. Sometimes I used to keep both in the bag, depending on the situation and the place. I used to either use sage the space or use Palo Santo. Both are equally good. Why was I carrying that with me? Because each place have their own fair share of energy, and we don't know what kind of energy was left back in the room before we enter. So we enter a room and we may feel the energy dense, or you're not able to settle into that space. So every time after I have learned shamanism and I've started working with shamanism, what I do is the minute I enter, I take out my sage or Palo Santo and I kind of go around the entire room working on it. So I sage the space, I clear it, and after I finish that, I bless the room. And if I feel like, if I've gone in for a workshop, I would make a medicine wheel pertaining to that, so that I have the right guidance and I'm doing things the right way. But if I'm there just for a vacation, then I bless the place and I make the medicine wheel with the intent that I'm bringing in positive energy and blessing the space and thanking the space for giving me the opportunity for being there and everything. So depending on the situation and the circumstance, that's the way I do my the medicine wheel, which I create. And I create it next to my bed. I create it if there is a little table somewhere, I would create it, but I would create it in the room, and as long as I am there, the wheel is there. And the minute I'm leaving, I remove the wheel, I clear out all my energy, and I move out of the space. I carry the tarot deck because one of the first things my teacher said when he taught me tarot was, you never know where you would need it and who you would meet who would want to read. So always carry the deck with you. So I started carrying the deck with me. So I had this bag which had a lot of things in it. I had my candle, because I needed, you need to work with the elements. So I had my shells indicating water, I had my candle for the fire, I had the feather for air, earth was there with the stone, and space obviously is already there. So I used to try to carry everything with me pertaining to what I was doing. Then when I learned further, and I even also understood the Inca traditions, and I also had those stones with me, which I started using for my healing and everything, my medicine bag became bigger because I had to add those stones, because when I travel also, when I need to work with people and I have to heal them, I need these things with me. And some of the questions people asked is, how could we even take it through? Won't the baggage weight come up and this and that? And they said, no, nobody's even going to ask you when you take these things. These things don't show up. I don't know whether it shows up or not, but I've always carried my medicine bag and it's become part of me. And with time, this is something which I had read, and also I had heard my teachers speak about it, but I never understood it. As a fresher, as a newbie into the thing, you need everything, and you go all dramatic with doing everything. You need the rattle and you need the drum, and you need to go with the process step by step. But with time, I realized that I didn't need the rattle. I could just close my eyes and intend, and I could just journey wherever I'm sitting and whatever I'm doing. And I didn't need many things with me. So what became a big bag that I carried, with over time, I reduced the size. And now, depending on the place, I pick and choose what I'm taking. If I am looking at, working with clients, even when I'm traveling, depending on that, I would pick the number of stones I'm taking. I would decide if I want to create like my medicine wheel wherever I'm going. If I'm going, I'll take that. If not, I wouldn't. My tarot deck, I would take it if I need it. If not, I wouldn't. I would let it go, because sometimes I feel that every time I want to even give space for myself to do something, so I have stopped taking it. It's not that I disrespect what my teacher said, but I also realized that if you take it, then you're constantly available, and I didn't want to be in that space. Not in a negative way, but sometimes I'm looking at it from the point that I want to spend more time in nature. So I started taking things pertaining to that and working with nature, sitting in nature, meditating, or spending time listening to the whispers of the wind or the sound of water. So I started taking things related to that. What could I do with it? So your medicine bag, which you will eventually learn to do in shamanism, would really be what is it that you want out of your experience when you go out somewhere. So you could put in everything, or you could put in nothing at all. So it's totally up to you. It's your sacred ritualistic practice that you have to create. That's the beauty of this, and that's where in the beginning I said it's very, very similar to Hinduism and parallel to it, where there are no do's and don'ts, there are no right and wrong. And again, pardon me if you feel that I'm overstepping someone's thought process. I don't mean to do it, but I'm just speaking from the point that you can use your free will the right way, and there's nothing right and wrong about anything. You could carry a medicine bag, you could not carry a medicine bag. It's your choice. But when you carry a medicine bag, it's a part of you that you are working with, is what you're carrying with you, which becomes that much more important and essential for you on your onward journey. If you don't carry it, you don't carry it. That's as simple as that. So yes, even when I'm traveling and if I have someone call me, I am ready nevertheless, whether I have the rattle or not. I have my Palo Santo, I have my candle, I have my crystals, I have my stones, and wherever I'm sitting, I can get to work. So that is the beauty of a medicine bag, and you have to be ready, because basically as a shaman, you'll never know when you're getting called. Yeah, I know I'm contradicting certain statements that I'm saying, but I don't take my tarot deck to certain places because I know it's not going to be used there, and I don't want to use it there. So that's when I don't take it, and I give myself that space saying that no, I'm not using it. At the same time, I would carry the rest of the things, because you really never know when and how you're going to get called. It's like a doctor carrying his kit with him. Very similarly, a shaman would carry his or her medicine bag with them because they need it at any given time, and they need to be equipped and prepared in case if something comes up and they need to work with it. So that's a bit about medicine bag. Any more questions, feel free to ask me, and I'm more than happy to address it and speak about it. Anything else you would like to know about the medicine bag, or about shamans as it is, or is it about soul loss, or anything else I've spoken, you are more than welcome to put out a message to me, and I will be happy to talk about it and say more about it. I haven't spoken about guides and power animals, and I would quickly just touch that base. I did introduce them to you initially. People ask, how many power animals would I have? That's up to you. You could have 1, and you could have 10, or you could have 20. It really depends, and some power animals are there with you permanently, some come and go depending on the situation. What are power animals? Power animals are energies which come and give you the required power for you to stay empowered and to go about doing what you need to do in your life. And they become a part of you. It's basically a part of you. They are a trait of you which you bring it and you kind of work with it. Guides are they are there to guide you and to show you the path and make you understand how to progress and what needs to be done and what are the steps to be taken. And they are again with you always. You could have one guide, you could have a couple of guides. The entire conversations about power animals and guides could go on and on. So I don't want to bore you. You could look up. There's plenty about power animals out there. There's plenty about guides out there. But when you get on the journey, into shamanism, you start working with the guides, you start working with power animals, you start understanding how they do, and they are very much part of your healing process. They show you the way, they guide you, they tell you how to heal yourself, how to work on yourself, and how to progress. All this is taught by them to you, and they work with you. And they're purely unconditional beings who are always there for us. And it is our duty, once we become a shaman or move on to the path of shamanic practice, that we honor them, acknowledge them, and work with them. Because you become a conduit, you open yourself as an energy channel, and you allow them to come through you to work with others and to show what needs to be done. So that's about it. And I thank you so much. I thank you for watching this video. I hope I have answered enough and more of your questions. And look forward to more of my videos. Thank you so much. Take care.